Blood, certain man will off you over money, fam. Certain man see it as the biggest violation if you play with their money, fam. And they literally will want to off you. Now, before, I thought it was only black people that took money so seriously that they'd be looking to do someone something if they rank with their money. Because when I've come across white man, like on construction sites and that, they've told me some stories like, yeah, I got knocked for 10 grand, i.e., obviously they're an electrician or whatever, they might be a plumber or a plasterer, and they're doing some work for a customer or a client, and the client rips them off. They don't pay them the £10,000. I've heard man tell me they've been knocked for 25 grand. And I'm like, rah, you just took the L like that. Like, white man, they don't take money that seriously. They don't take this thing personally like that. I'm thinking, blood, man, them on the ends are looking to drop you over £150, blood. I remember one man was a youth man doing, look cool, you get me money making and I ain't gonna say, but you know what I'm trying to say, innit, yeah? Went to go and re-up on a thing, man gave me grass, yeah? Blood, man caught the youth, well, he was 4 years older than me, so this time man was 15, he was 19. I caught the youth when he was, so yeah, he would have been 21 when I was 17, bust him up, broke him up in the alleyway and that. This was over something that happened 2 years ago, blood. This is over little idiot, £200 and that. Man will be looking to off you on ends and that. But literally, I thought it was just black people that take money seriously like that. Obviously, you know, throughout the history of the world and that, obviously there's going to be white people that take money seriously, want to off you and that, who might not even be gangsters or whatever, innit? But I met a white man the other day. Shit. Right, man's going to take this thing slowly, innit? So I can remember all the events and that, you get me? But this situation here, man don't even want to talk on and give too much details of that, because the way my man was going on, I'm thinking like, right, something's going to happen to someone, you know. Might not be to that extent, but someone going to get touched. Yeah? So, obviously, get me, man get numbers and that, and I always phone up the people then before you get me, go down to where I need to go to, innit? So, I phone them up, introduce myself, yeah, when I come down, this is going to be the procedure. So boom, phone up one guy now, and I could tell he was a little bit of an older man, and I'm just explaining the procedure and that. And there was a point where he was saying something. I'm like, my friend, I can't hear you. You sound like I can't hear you properly. He's like, yeah, it's because I'm eating an apple. Blood, I hate when people do that. When I'm chatting to people on the phone, blood, stop fucking eating food, innit? Yeah, but this is whether I know you or not. It don't matter if I know you or not, but I don't want to hear you clapping. So anyway, gone down there, and this particular white man, he looked like he was a rebel type of white man and that. He weren't although he was 70 something, no, I think he said he was 3 years off of being 70, yeah, so he was 67 or 68. Although he was almost 70 and that, he weren't some old, frail little white man. I'd say probably 5'10" and that, got a few tattoos and that, whatever, innit? Do you know what he looked like? He reminded me of, you know, like Colonel Guile from Street Fighter, or, you know what I'm saying, innit? Like, maybe like, you know, Ivan Drago with my man's got the high top, the blonde high top and that. He's not even bald. My man's all 68 and that, and he's not even bald. There's certain man right now, all 25, fucking hairlines back here, brother. You get me? So anyway, turn up at the yard, get me, gone in now. And we were just chatting and that. So I'm asking him like where he's from originally and that, and he's telling me, yeah, he's from around these ways, whatever, innit? Yeah. And he must have said, yeah, I went to jail for about 10 years or something like that for armed robbery. He was like, yeah, I used to be a right nutter back in the day. Now, there are, like, when I meet these people and that, they always have to tell me that they're a G, was a G, or planning to be a G. Fam, I'm not going to your yard to hear about your CV, blood. You understand what I'm trying to say? I don't really care, innit? There was only one youth that I met. He was from West London, and I asked him, how much man have you had to mash up since you've been up here, innit? And he was telling me about little rough and tumbles he's had with people. And they happen to be from London as well, actually. But anyway. So that's the only person that man's asked, like, oh, you got into any madness being up here? Because obviously he's from, not where I'm from, but you get me. So I just wanted to know what his experience was like, because I thought it was just me that was getting into mashing up people and that's it's been up here. So anyway, this guy told me, yeah, I used to be a right lunatic. I was a nutter. I done an armed robbery and that, and get me, I went to jail and that, innit? So boom. So we're talking, and he must have said to me, so how many of these you do a day? I said, I do about 5 a day, whatever, innit? He's like, when did you just do your last kind of job, innit? And I said, yeah, there's one place called Lings, innit? Like, you heard of it? And he's like, yeah, I know there, innit? And he's like, you know what? Because I said to him, I'm familiar with like Northampton now, innit? I said to him, he said to me, name all the estates around that place. So I'm like, all right, I don't know. I just started naming them, innit? Like, because obviously, man, know now, innit? I'm like, Lower Meadow, Far Meadow, South Home, flipping. I'm trying to remember now, innit? Wade Meadow and that. And then he was like, name one of them that's got an S. So I said to him, what, South Home? And he's like, nah. I was like, what, side, bro? And he was like, it might be one of them, you know? He's like, do you know some girl with such and such name? I don't know, let's call the girl Jenny, yeah? He's like, do you know this girl with such and such name, Jenny or whatever, innit? And I'm like, nah. He's like, she's a half-caste girl, she's got a little boy and that, innit? So I'm like, no, I don't know her, innit? He's like, listen, yeah, when I catch that girl, I'ma do this, I'ma do that. I'm like, rah! He's like, yeah. He was like, she's about like 30 or something, innit? So I'm like, nah, I don't know her or whatever, innit? Yeah. And I was like, so how did you know her? Because obviously my man's like, he's like almost 70 years old. This gal is like 30 something. So anyway, I was like, how do you know her, innit? He's like, well, you know. I'm like, what? He's like, well, I used to, I was like, what? He was like, yeah, but like she used to sell herself, innit? I was like, oh, okay. He was like, yeah, she ran off with my money. So when I catch her, you get me? I'm gonna slap her, innit? I'm like, alright, they're cool with it. She must have ran off with like £75 or something, innit? And he's like, I'm sure the place begins with an S. Because she sat right down here, and the last time I saw her before she ran off with my money, she told me like she was catching a cab to, let's say, South Home or whatever, innit? It's some estate with an S, innit? So I'm like, well, I don't know, innit? Anyway, he told me, yeah, me and my nephew been driving around looking for this gal. So I'm like, okay. 2 seconds later, he got on the phone. He's like, yeah, I think she lives around this estate. I'm like, rah, my man didn't even get on the phone to his nephew and say like, oh yeah, how's it going? Like, how's your day going or whatever, innit? Like, he just got on the phone. I think she lives around this estate. I'm like, rah. So anyway, he's chatting to her. And chatting to his nephew, innit? And he put down the phone. Because his nephew's like, I'm in the shop. Boom. So then after he's like, yeah, my nephew, he just came out of jail. He just done 5 years. Got a 10-year, done 5 years and that. I think same sort of thing, armed robbery and that. This old man told me that he done an armed robbery with a shotgun back in the day, like the 90s or something. I mean, probably a little bit less than that, but probably earlier than that, maybe late 80s, early 90s and that. So yeah, he said that his nephew just come out of jail for, I think maybe armed robbery as well, innit? Then afterwards, I think his nephew phoned him back. He was like, yeah, I'm sure she lives around this place. And I'm thinking like, rah, these men are really strategizing and looking to do something to a gal over £75, you know. That's how you know, blood. That's what I'm saying. When I talk, and you might have heard me saying some of my videos because I talk to my girl about this stuff, innit? You're like, you can't play around with people's money. People are going to be looking to take you out over peas, blood. Even the government. If you don't pay tax, they're looking to lock you up, blood. One time I went court. This was Enfield and Haringey Youth Court. No, actually, no, it's not even Youth Court. But yeah, Enfield and Haringey. So Enfield and Haringey magistrates was on Lordship Lane. I don't even know where they moved it because that building still exists because I think it's a listed building. But I don't even know where the Enfield and Haringey magistrates court is now. But obviously, that's where all the young people then go as well. And obviously adults and that. Because I've been there as a youth man and an adult plenty of times. Yeah, too many times, isn't it? I mean, one is too many anyway. But yeah. One time I went there and like on the wall they put up like the list, the court numbers, innit? So you got courtrooms, innit? Court 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, for example. So you'll go on the list and like you might know, okay, I'm in court 2, or you might not even know, you're just looking through all the lists and that to see your name, innit? So anyway, man seeing all the lists and that, court 1 to 4, let's say there's a 5th one, court 1 to 4. All these names for the same offence. People them not pay their fucking council tax, bro. Yeah, like that. But they rounded them up. They round them up. If you don't pay your tax, they could potentially lock you up. They done it to Wesley Snipes. He didn't want to pay his probably income tax or whatever. Like, you've heard of self-assessment, yeah? If you don't pay your self-assessment tax to the government, HMRC, you could go to jail, blood. That's how deep it is. You could go to jail, fam. They don't play about. And man will be looking to take you out over money. Never rip someone off. Never rob. Obviously, don't rob no one anyway, innit? But never rip someone off of money or nothing like that. Because people will be looking to come take you out. See, there's a lot of people, they would rather get chiefed up and beaten up than get ripped off for £200 or something. Nah. I'd rather get ripped off for £200 than that bruise on my ego, that's worth more than a certain amount of money. There's no way, blood. But certain man, you could bruck them up and they will just dust themselves off and keep it moving and never touch you again. But certain man, if you rip them off for £1,000, 10 grand, 15 grand, whatever, but they'll be looking to take your head off, blood. Literally be looking to take your head off, blood. I know a man. Are you... one of the man them, you get me, got one thing pregnant that he didn't want to get pregnant and that. And one of his brethren said, yo, I will beat up the girl and make her lose the baby for £50, blood. Man are looking to almost do murder, basically. I mean, that might be murder in the eyes of the law. Yeah, technically. Yeah, I mean, you could go to jail, blood. Man are looking to do murder over £50, fam. Madness. But literally, certain people out here are looking to off people over money. Don't play about with people's money. That's one thing you don't do. You're better off disrespecting someone than ripping people off and robbing people, or you know what I'm saying, innit? You got an old man that's almost 70 years old driving around looking for a girl because he wants to slap her in the face, blood. That this happened months ago. My man's still looking for her, innit? But I slightly think, I reckon he probably likes her and she ghosted him or whatever, innit? That's probably what it is as well. Because he said, oh, she's pretty, innit? So he probably liked her, and because, you know what I'm saying, innit? Like, she don't want to sleep with him no more. You get me? You know, now he's got a problem with that because he fancied her and that. So I think that's partly to do with it as well. Because I'm sure there's people in this world that have ripped my man off for a lot more money than he even touched them, innit? So anyway, man, that's it for today. Don't rip no one off. Stay wise. Done, man.